The idiom "pour cold water on" is used to describe the act of discouraging someone, dampening enthusiasm, or reducing excitement about an idea, plan, or situation. When a person pours cold water on something, they introduce doubt, criticism, or negativity that lowers the initial energy or optimism. The phrase often carries a slightly disapproving tone, suggesting that the action may be unnecessarily discouraging or even deflating to others. The origin of this expression is rooted in a simple and vivid physical image. Pouring cold water onto something hot immediately cools it down, reducing heat and intensity. This literal action translates effectively into a metaphor for emotional or psychological states. Just as heat represents excitement or passion, cold water symbolizes restraint or suppression. Over time, this imagery became embedded in the English language as a way to describe dampening someone's enthusiasm. In everyday conversation, the idiom is frequently used in social and professional contexts. For example, if someone shares an ambitious idea, and another person quickly points out all the potential problems, it might be said that they poured cold water on the idea. While such feedback can sometimes be practical and necessary, the phrase often implies that the criticism was delivered in a way that diminished motivation, rather than constructively improving the plan. In personal relationships, pouring cold water on someone's excitement can have emotional consequences. When individuals feel that their ideas or feelings are consistently dismissed, they may become less willing to share or express themselves. This can create distance and reduce trust over time. However, there are also situations where a measured, cautious response is beneficial, especially when enthusiasm might lead to unrealistic expectations or risky decisions. The key difference lies in how the message is communicated. In professional environments, the balance between encouragement and critical thinking is particularly important. Leaders and team members must evaluate ideas carefully, but they also need to maintain morale and creativity. Constantly pouring cold water on suggestions can stifle innovation and discourage participation. On the other hand, constructive feedback that acknowledges both strengths and weaknesses can help refine ideas without undermining confidence. The idiom highlights the importance of tone and intention in communication. Culturally, attitudes toward this behavior can vary. In some cultures, direct criticism is more acceptable and may not be perceived as discouraging, while in others, a more supportive and indirect approach is preferred. Understanding these differences can help individuals navigate conversations more effectively, especially in diverse or international settings. The phrase itself remains widely understood, but its impact depends heavily on cultural context and interpersonal dynamics. In conclusion, "pour cold water on" is an expressive idiom that captures the act of dampening enthusiasm or discouraging others. While it can sometimes reflect necessary realism, it often carries a negative connotation when it suppresses motivation or creativity. By being mindful of how and when to offer criticism, individuals can avoid unnecessarily discouraging others while still contributing thoughtful and valuable perspectives.